हेलो गाइस। रिकॉर्डिंग दिस वीडियो, इस वीडियो में जानेंगे कि इस कॉम्पिटिशन्स को कैसे क्रैक करते हैं। वी हैड एन अमेजिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन विद अभय, खुशी एंड शाश्वत। दे हैव बीन रियली गुड एट व्हाट दे डू। मैंने भी अपनी तरफ से थोड़े बहुत ऐड किए फ्रॉम व्हाट लिमिटेड एक्सपीरियंस आई हैव। एंड ट्रस्ट मी, इफ़ यू गो टिल द एंड ऑफ दिस, we have covered in 3 segments what are case forms, why should you prioritize it, how to find a team, how to go about doing research, then how to make a presentation and what to keep in mind in final presentations, and also the fun part. Last तक जाओगे, you will really be sold out on the idea that case forms is the way, and I can tell you it is the way. It will give you a lot of perks that we have talked about. I'm very excited about this episode, as you can see, and I will be much more excited if you see it till the end. I really want this video to be my best viewed video because I know it has real value. मतलब क्या फाड़ वीडियो है यार, मज़ा आ जाएगा आपको. You should definitely watch it. Definitely. Be it you are an MBA student or an undergraduate student. If undergraduate student किसी को आप जानते हो, आपके दोस्त को भेज दो उनको, because it will be a real value to them as well. Case competitions are now open to everyone, so everyone is doing it. बहुत मज़ा आने वाला है. Let's jump to the conversation. तो लेट्स स्टार्ट गाइस. हम लोग एक एक करके इंट्रोडक्शन देते हैं. मेरे बारे में तो सबको पता है, वो लोग मेरे को सुनते हुए आ रहे हैं. स्टिल मैं बस अपने केस कॉम्पिटिशन के बारे में बता देता हूँ. सो आई वाज अ नेशनल फाइनलिस्ट एट एस, Amazon एस. इट्स लाइक वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट कॉम्पिटिशन्स. उसके अलावा मैं क्योंकि प्लेसफॉर्म में था, तो पहले 3 महीने ज्यादा वो करने का टाइम नहीं मिला, हसल करने का इसके ऊपर. सो उसके बाद मैंने कॉलेजेस के केस फॉर्म किए. कुछ कॉलेजेस के केस फॉर्म में मैं पोजीशंस में था. अपने आईआईएम के वाले में भी, बैक वाटर्स में, सी बेस्ट सीईओ वाला, वेलिंगटन में, एमडीआई में. सो मेरा कॉर्पोरेट में बस अमेजोन से ही एक्सपोजर है. एंड इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट बिकॉज इट्स लाइक उसको करने का तरीका पूरा अलग था. सो आई टॉक अबाउट इट एंड बाकी सब प्रेजेंटेशन. सो वील गो वन बाय वन. ठीक है. वील स्टार्ट विथ खुशी, लेडीज फर्स्ट.
Okay, so I'm Khushi Pokharna from IIT Kolkata. So pehle I'll come directly to case comp wala part. So starting with my first case competition while entering IIT itself in the first month, let's say July, was the Cipla Ascent. I think it was season 2, and I don't know, luckily, but second runner up. And फिर उसके बाद I did a lot many. Um, सब में I ended up being a national finalist or semi-finalist. So few of them were Tata Grow Beyond Better, where I was top amongst the top 10 teams. Then there was EY Techathon. Then there was this Grand Thornton case competition. And I'll remember a few names if I can remember in a while. Meanwhile, others can continue.
मतलब इतने केस फॉर्म्स में आगे बढ़ो कि नाम ही भूल जाओ. इतना सक्सेसफुल, लाइक सफरिंग विद सक्सेस. ठीक है, आई विल गो विद शाश्वत नेक्स्ट. एक बार बैकग्राउंड भी बता देना, शाश्वत का थोड़ा अलग बैकग्राउंड है. खुशी, तुम भी बैकग्राउंड बता दो ताकि लोग को थोड़ा पता रहे.
Okay, so my
बैचलर्स.
background is pretty straight. I'm fresher, BBA, and from Surat, Gujarat itself. I've completed my BBA from a local college in Surat itself. So I have, as I said, I have no experience. So Cipla was basically my first corporate exposure, and yeah.
Hello everyone, I am Saswat Pati. I did my undergraduate and postgraduate in National Institute of Science Education and Research, Nizer, Bhubaneswar. I did my integrated MSc with a major in chemistry. So I basically come from a academia background. I have 2 research articles. So that problem solving experience and reading a complicated piece of literature, that is something that I have carried. I'm trained in. So that really helped in case competitions. Just like Khushi, I also got my first break in a way in case competitions with Cipla Ascent. I was a national semi-finalist. Khushi beat me in that. And around the same time, I was very lucky to find similar-minded people in my batch at IIM Kozhikode. So that team particularly struck gold, with which I participated in Aditya Birla Group Stratos, in which we were the national finalists. And apart from that, I was also a national finalist in Samagra Governance Challenge. It's a very unique case competition. Apart from that, I was the national semi-finalist in Cummins Redefine Challenge, Cipla, as I told earlier, and campus winner in Reckitt. These are the corporate case competitions, and also in this PepsiCo Learn Together, Grow Together Challenge, and college competitions. Some other, and I won't like to mention them, but yeah, I'm happy to converse about it. It was a very exhaustive learning experience. So working together with people, solving on cases, something that I would like to teach as many people as possible. So good to be here.
So we can safely say that since Saswat is coming from a chemistry background, so he can teach us the right formula. That's a very bad joke. मेरे को लगता है किसी को अच्छा नहीं लगा, but let's move on to Abhay.
Also, meanwhile, Sashwat mentioned about team. Hemant, I would like you to take a particular question on how selecting a very good team is important. So we'll
Done,
take
done.
the question that in detail again.
Done. Sure.
So hi everyone. So I'm Abhay and I am from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I have done my bachelor's in management studies from Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, Delhi University. And post that, I worked as a marketing manager for 1.5 years at a mental health startup called Your Dost, based out in Bangalore. And then, yes, I am lucky enough that I made it into IIM Kozhikode. And since then, I have been trying my luck and participating at a number of case competitions. Although my case competition journey started a little earlier while I was in DU itself. So I tried participating in a few case competitions that took place at SRCC, Miranda House, and other good top colleges in DU itself. One few of them participated, learned a lot from almost all of them. And then, yes, at IMK, I started my journey. I think one of the earliest, I wouldn't say a case competition, but more like a hiring competition that happened, which was Godrej Loud. So I participated in that, and I was fortunate enough that I made it to the like the finalists from our campus, and we went to Mumbai for the same. And yes, that was a very good experience that I had. Plus, forward, I tried my luck at a number of other case competitions as well, such as one that was done by Reliance. Then, as Khushi mentioned, the Tata Grew and Beyond. So, yeah, these were some of the case competitions that I participated in. Although, just like Hemant, as he was the part of the placement cell in the first 3 months, I was also a member of the Students' Council. So, yes, didn't get much time and devotion to participate in the case comp, but I think the year ended well when I got a chance to participate in Nation with Namo nation building case competition. And to be honest, it was one of the most surreal experiences that I've ever had in the very first year of my college. And yes, if getting a chance, I'll speak more about it on it later. But yeah, that's about me, and really happy to be a part of this video.
Chalo, great. So Abhay did not flex about the iPad he won. That's good. तो केस फॉर्म्स क्या होते हैं, सबसे पहले उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. No, why is it important? Why one should do it? Why should it be on the priority list? I would like Abhay to talk about it first because Godrej Loud से उसने SIP पूरी secure कर ली थी. So I think he was the one person जिसने hiring challenge का one of the best views उसको मिला. So after that, we'll just take it up. चलो Abhay, let's hear from you on this.
Right. So I remember, I think Godrej Loud is one of the earliest events that happened in the college across all the business schools, and it's one of its kind event because it basically tests you on a number of parameters. And as far as I remember, the first thing that they test us on was a basic quiz that was quantitative ability and English, more like on the basis of a CAT exam, so a mini CAT version of that. DILR questions were there, and so since it was the first event that happened in the college, almost everybody participated in the same. And out of all the participants, I think they selected 5 to 6 students from our campus. And we were supposed to go to Mumbai for a so in Mumbai there were two things that happened. One was a case discussion round that took place where we were like sitting in a group, and there was a case study that was given to us, and we had like around 45 minutes where we had to discuss amongst ourselves the solutions to that case study. Post that case study, it was a filtration round where half of us made it to the final interview, and then the interview process took place, and accordingly, we were offered the internship for our summers. So I think that was one of the earliest hiring challenges that happened in the college, and to be honest, one of the one of the best hiring challenges that I participated in till date. So I think yes, that is some, and plus I think the earlier when you start participating in these kind of competitions, there's a different kind of energy because you are very fresh to the B school, and you see everybody around with a lot of vigor, with a lot of enthusiasm, and all of them are looking forward to these case competitions. So I think one insight that I can give from my personal experience would be that try your best for the earlier case competition that comes to the campus, because once you are exploring around, making a fresh team. Some of them are individual participation as well. Some of them might require twos, team of two or team of three. But yeah, the earliest you get into a good case competition and let's say you crack it, I think rest of your college life gets better from there. So yeah, that is one insight that I would like to share from this.
Thanks, great. So उसके आगे चलते हैं. I think खुशी के पास चलेंगे. The reason being, like she converted her PPI from Cipla, right? So
Yeah.
you were the next best beneficiary from case comms.
Yeah, like the time Cipla was in for case competition, I think the very first case competition in our campus, and the time was, I think, of much rigor for all of us. Like we were faced with much burden of placements and things, and I was doing Cipla as a mandatory compulsion pressure on our head. Like you have to do it, you have to do it. The place commerce will be checking and all this stuff. But I think that was the time when we got really shaped in, like during the first of our case competitions, the pressure helped us to get it interested into those stuff. For me, case competition was something of very new of a sort. Like I've never been exposed to such competition before, and I always had in my mind that I should prepare for some companies or some placements, and why I'm doing all this for this compulsory thing. And I used to hate, well, like why I'm doing this. But when I started learning it so much, and it got all into place, and ultimately what the target was of mine, I think it got fulfilled. But not talking about the placements, as I think Abhay uh, correctly talked about it, I would like to talk about how it actually helps you about the so-called corporate exposure that all of us usually talks of. Being in a company now and doing some project, and also having been talked with many of my friends in different companies and different roles, I actually learned that what all I did in case competitions is so much relevant and so much relatable actually. So some of our projects are a complete case competition, we can say. Like the problem solving part you do, the solution generation, the impact that you try to create, and most importantly, the insights that you try to gather. As a student, are sometimes those golden insights that you get as an outsider. You think from the point of view of consumer, and I think that is so beautifully done. You get so much of insights, and now you have so many companies, so many, I can say, so many genres of topics to work into. For example, I'll talk about Tata. I was then learning about coffees, and then I'll talk about something that I was in EY Techathon, so I was learning so much of AI and stuff. So now I have this little of everything in me, and now as I'm working at Cipla, everything is helping me so much, and I feel case comms was so relatable and so much more helpful. And some of my friends are exactly doing these competitions at their workplace right now. This is all what I can say, and I think if in second year there are many more competitions, and I will definitely look from this perspective to get into those more than prize monies and PPOs too.
So safe to say that I am again out of the competition because अभय और खुशी वापस से सेकेंड ईयर में आने वाले हैं. And to sum it up, अभय ने बात किया फ्रेशनेस के बारे में, the energy that comes in from the start. Khushi talked about the diversification and the learning that you can carry till the summer internship project. And I'm sure वो आपको help भी करेगा summer internship seal करने में. So let's move to Shashwat.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, the basic question was what is a case competition, right?
हाँ,
So
like what generally expected and why should you prioritize it?
yeah. So before coming on to my planned answer, I'd like to appreciate like the awareness Abhay had before coming to a B school. I did not have, and from Khushi's answer, I don't think she had also. The kind of the force at which things pile up on you. It is very common to disregard something as valuable as case competition, and by the time you realize the true potential of what case competition teaches you and where it can land you, it might be too late. So if you're watching this video, I think one thing that you should take away from is that if I think I heard it from someone in my senior batch at K only, that MBA is life on a nitro mode. Everything has a deadline, everything you have to learn and do it to the best of your abilities in a very short duration. You don't have the time as I had in, let's say, in academia in my previous life per se, to take it slow, but to do the finest. It's do it. And as it is also written, I think in Facebook's wall post, that just done is more than perfect. So what matters in this initial phase, like before your summer placements actually happen in your college, is participating in as many case competitions as you want. So one misconception I think is amongst many, I have been interacting with a lot of people who are entering into B schools this year, so they are a bit confused, if I'm not diverting the conversation, between what is a consultancy case solving and what is a case competition. In my opinion, there are vastly different things. The example that Abhay talked about is a very extreme hiring challenge sort of thing, where many companies do that. They pick up a case and give it to you in the group discussion or in the interview, and that is more of a consultancy case. You will learn about it in your college. But what we are talking about is case competitions, which are done by a lot of companies, as Khushi was also saying. So basically, a case competition is can be a hiring challenge, because at the end of the day, you get, if you're cracking the case, you are getting a PPI or PPO. PPI is pre-placement interview and PPO is pre-placement offer, if I'm not wrong. So some companies do not offer as well, so you can divide several case competitions on the basis of if they're offering PPI, if they're offering PPO, or if they're offering some other perks. That is one way of classification. Another major way of classification is what kind of case is it a marketing case comp, or a finance case comp, or a operations case comp, or a general case comp. I think Godrej, Reliance, TAS, they fall under general case comp, where you have to come up with your own idea and also provide a solution to it, and also signify why that problem is worth solving. Something, let's say operations, Flipkart had a operations only case competition this year. There would be a operation related problem that is being faced by Flipkart in more or less. Colgate also come up with a marketing case comp, which on a product which they have already launched in the market. So in a way, it is also a live project per se. If you I think Marico provides you with that opportunity, that if you crack through the round 3 or 4 of the case competition, they allow you to work on that live project per se, and that has its other perks. So the two case competitions that we have already talked about, one with Cipla and the Godrej Loud, I think, if I'm not wrong. These are the complete extremes of the case competitions spectrum per se. If I'm not wrong, Cipla had some 5 to 6 rounds. They had a quant round, they had a video round, they had a I think simulation round, if I'm not wrong. So this is a new trend that many case competitions want you to record your solution in a video format and explain it. So there are tips and tricks to crack those round two that will be hugely different from the standard 3 round. First round is executive summary, then 10 to 12 slider, then final presentation in physical or in virtual mode. So that is something like each company has their own practice. They have arrived at that method of conducting case competitions by thinking something. They have something in their mind to go ahead. So one insight that I think I have gained is that if a company is giving a case, they have something in their mind. Like, so basically, as a participant, if you want to crack this case competition, read your audience. There is a very high chance that the case that they have proposed, the problem that they have proposed, they are already struggling with that, and they have tried something. So if you can find out that from their investor report or annual report or anything, that is a great start. I'm talking from the research point of view. This is the first round. So after that,
करेंगे इस बारे में भी बात करेंगे. I think we'll take it one by one. I think the conversation is totally set. What is case comps? I'm sure different types, if I sum it up. So there's one hiring challenge that Abhay went through, which was like more of a personality test, an aptitude test. What Khushi and I and Saswat went through were two types. One is that they give a problem themselves. जैसे Amazon ने मुझे problem दिया था, Cipla ने आप लोग को दिया था. And there's one where they keep it open and let you take it up and आप अपने creativity से अपने हिसाब से कुछ लाओ and show why it is significant. Uh, there are different ways, like as Saswat told, कोई भी एक तरह का नहीं है. Accenture does it very different. Amazon is totally different. They don't allow PPTs at all. It's just memo writing. So that is again a very new thing that I learned. तो सब कुछ का एक अलग अलग फ्लेवर है लेकिन बेस लाइन सेम ही है जिसके बारे में हम लोग नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट में बात करेंगे, विच इज रिसर्च टीम एंड हाउ टू गो अबाउट डिफरेंट राउंड्स. Before jumping into that, one suggestion, and I'm sure everyone will agree to it, is to keep in touch with aptitude, because a lot of people will definitely fall out just because they were not in touch with aptitude. And I was giving a mock every Sunday. No one knows this. Every Sunday मैं एक aptitude mock देता था, and that is why there was no aptitude round that I never crossed. In fact, nation with नमो में अभय को भी पता है क्या हुआ था. I registered with multiple teams and all my teams qualified. तो वो एक अलग. So that is one thing that you have to be good at. First round में बाहर नहीं निकलना है. Be good at using Chat GPT as well. That is also something I say. The faster your hands are on Chat GPT, the better are your chances to clear the quiz round, which is non-aptitude based. Uh, any other addition on the first round point? इसके बाद हम लोग आगे जाएं.
I think one thing I would like to add here is the fact that almost 90% of the case competitions, if I'm not wrong, will have a quiz round just to filter out participants, because on an average at least 3 to 4 thousand participants across B schools apply. And that also is a very short number that I'm saying. I mean, it is much more bigger than this. So they usually use a quiz round to just filter out the students in the very first term. And from my experience, I think half of the students don't even like after registering, forget either the quiz round when it's happening, or they don't even appear for it. While the other half, like as Hemant mentioned, there are various hacks, tips and tricks to crack these quiz rounds. But I think it's a must that this is the base that you have to clear at any cost, because it's the most worst feeling, I think I would say, that when you are not even able to make it through the quiz round. Sometimes it's also luck based. Sometimes it's also based on how fast you are, or probably how good you are with your hands, as Hemant mentioned. So yeah, I think that is one thing that most of us should keep in mind while appearing for any case competitions. And trust me, in the initial case competitions, I think your friends would be of a great help. Although, the kind of atmosphere at a B school is very competitive when it comes to all of this. But I think in the preliminary rounds, you will find everybody helping each other out, so that at least, all of us mutually can get into through the quiz round and through the first round mostly. So yeah, that is one thing that I would like to add to.
Yeah, I can answer that friend wala part better because I'm like very bad at that aptitude, and I've cleared all the case competitions that have the first round is quiz through my friends only. Like I've appeared none of my quizzes, so I not know that better that you need to have a good group of people who can clear aptitudes for you.
इसी बात पे शाश्वत आपको भी कुछ कहना है कि हम नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट पे चले?
No, I have nothing to add here.
Chalo. I think we have completed the first segment and we have talked about what is case form, why is it important, and a bit about the first round. I'll summarize it again in a minute. First round typically two types, aptitude होता है या quiz होता है. Quiz is generally they ask about the company or they ask about any strategy or anything, पता नहीं वो उनका मन है. And जो aptitude होता है, it's mostly quants and EIR based, which if you have done in CAT, you will be comfortable enough to crack it. Just be in touch. थोड़ा सा VRC भी देख लेना. VA part is also included a bit. And the key highlights were, if you are not good with it for any reason, have someone who is good. Uh, have your hands good on Chat GPT or any other way to make sure that you crack into this, because this is the first round and ये base को crack नहीं किया तो आगे सुनने का तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. So now we are going to the second part. It's mostly the second round, and we'll skip the simulation part and all because it's not in every case form. We are talking about the umbrella ones. So second part mostly होता है कि when you pass the first round, you will be given a case, a problem that company is currently facing. In most corporate case forms, as Shashwat has mentioned, that company is facing a problem and they are not spending their time and energy on you to work on something that they won't use. They will give you everything, जो इतना घुमा फिराएंगे, तुमको पैसा देंगे सब, because they want to extract something out of you. So now we'll talk about the second part. This will include first and one of the most crucial things, I think ये first part से पहले भी करना चाहिए था, but I'll take it this up here, how to find the right team. So whosoever wants to go first on this, I think Shashwat mentioned that he found it very early on, which is again a very hard thing. So Shashwat, why not you guide us on that?
Not early per se, but okay, I had my fair share of missing out on significant case competitions like Amazon and HUL and all those that had their aptitude round before, if I'm not wrong, August. Yeah. So by the time ABG came, the simulation, the team that I have still stuck with was a chance. So it so happens that you would go around finding people. So yeah, so basics first. You would want someone who brings something to the table that you can't provide. So you need a complementary set of skills and resources. So if I'm good at research, I am coming from an academic background. I can do the primary survey and secondary research well. I can get through the 14 pages of problem statement within 1 hour. Then I will need someone who is good in financial statements, who is very good with quantitative, and another one who is also at par with design and making the presentations um, to what the company expects it from us. So that is also an important factor in these initial rounds. So I think, but these all are okay, and you will find pretty huge number of people who have these complementary skills in any typical B school. But what matters for me the most is having the complementary mindset. Having that if the person that you are trying to partner up with in the for case competitions has the same mindset, has the same how do I put it, वो
I think
उतना time
synergy,
देगा.
yeah, goal, the same
Yeah.
goal.
सेम गोल, लाइक आप जितना प्रायोरिटाइज कर रहे हो इस चीज को, क्या वो भी प्रायोरिटाइज कर रहे हैं, क्या वो समझ रहे हैं कि हाँ ये चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड फॉर सेम रीजंस, नॉट फॉर some other reason. So if that kind of understanding is there, no matter what comes, let's say you have something very important, or if you have some health concern and the deadline is the next day, you can depend on the other person to do the part and get through this part done, so that you can go over and beyond in the next round and compensate for that healthy 50-50 partnership. If you can establish with someone, and that trust you can develop, and as soon as possible develop that, because what happens is there will be a time when lot of good case competitions, like properly thought of, something that will interest you, will come in ek sath sara ka sara. So even if you're making it in from the first round in 2-3 rounds, you will have to prioritize, you'll have to give importance to some. There might be cases where you have to say no to sleep for, let's say, 48 to 72 hours. So those conditions will arise. So in those conditions you need someone, एक सारथी चाहिए जो, या फिर आप सारथी हो, जो भी हो. That's a bad analogy, but you get my point. Someone who can depend on and who understands
I'll
what your
extend
priorities are.
this.
Yeah.
I'll extend this a bit. So I think Abhay will also relate with it because मैं PlaceCom में था, and one problem was we were only allowed to participate with fellow PlaceCommers जो मेरे साथ थे, and we had huge work. We did not get time, and most of the people, like Shashwat said, उनके priority में नहीं था, which is something I wouldn't blame them for, because we have signed up for something which is very crucial and we have to work hard, and then थोड़ा सा जो रेस्ट मिलता है उसमें भी कोई बंदा आके आपके गला पे चढ़िए कि नहीं पीपीटी बनाओ, तो गालियां तो पड़ेंगी. So what happened is in the first initial 3 months, as everyone said, they hire interns to it. So before your SIP process start, most of the good case forms come, and after that it's a very मिराज की तरह हो गया इन द डेजर्ट. एक दिख गया तो दिख गया, वरना कुछ ऐसा थॉट ऑफ कुछ आता नहीं है. लॉरियल आया था शायद, एक तो आया था, आई डोंट इवन रिमेम्बर. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि पहला टाइम में आप कर लो. एस में अगर कोई मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछे एस में कैसे किया, एस में आई रजिस्टर्ड विद अ टीम व्हिच वाज नॉट फ्रॉम प्लेसफॉर्म. I did it before being selected. So we were 4 people, out of which only I was in Placeform and the rest were others. And as Shashwat said, they were compensating for the time that I lost. So I did give my inputs, but I knew कि पीछे से वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं. So that becomes a very, very major factor. Have thoda sa trust establishment with people, thoda sa comfort, try out a bit ऐसा नहीं कि शुरू में जो मिला उसी के साथ स्टिक करना, दैट्स अ वेरी रेयर केस आई थिंक विद शाश्वत, एंड अभय के साथ भी ऐसा ही एक केस है ही कि ही हैज फाउंड एटलीस्ट वन ऑफ अ पार्टनर जो एक तरह से स्टिक ऑन है, तो वो जल्दी से मिलता नहीं, बट इफ यू फाइंड इट फॉर श्योर दैट you are towards a very, very good path in case forms. Anyone has to add anything apart from this on?
Yeah, I think I'll give you thoda sa overview. So there can be two ways. First, you look into what kind of case competition it is. Maybe it will be more tech side. Maybe it will require some mechanical or engineering background, or maybe it requires some pharma background. So figuring that out, you will now look upon a person with some expertise in that field. That was part one.
Mhm.
Also, two parts, that designing and research. So you need to have a team combination of that. So initially, when you don't have a setting group, you can explore in this way. Like for the Cipla case competition, I though made the team with my flatmate, but she had a great we can say repository in the pharma background, like her parents or her entire background. So that helped me tons, like that helped us a tons. So that was the way I started with. But moving ahead, I think a comfort zone is also required at some places, because you guys will have to stay up late, as already mentioned, and ultimately also as Shashwat said, like you will prioritize things and do things. So ultimately, your comfort zone will also help you a lot. Like initially, we both started together. The my friend, she had a pharma background, and then we also became a stick-on group, that we two were together in any group. We can have third, fourth, anyone, but we two were together. But then what happened? We were both on design side. Like we were the post-mortem part. Give us anything, we'll present that in the most presentable manner ever. So we needed someone with research or sort. So we were struggling a lot, and we tried a lot. Many people in the third position in that group, but I think we failed a lot, and eventually we found out our third partner, and now we are a stick on, and then we cracked many case competitions एक साथ, मतलब when we formed a एकदम अच्छा comfort वाला group जो सब एक दूसरे को compliment कर रहे हैं और अच्छे से काम हो रहा है, और सबकी प्रायोरिटी से हमें पता है कि हम सबको करना ही है वैसा था। तो मतलब अल्टीमेटली फिर एक अच्छा ग्रुप बना लेना भी जरूरी है। नाउ वी आर 4 और 5 पीपल, लाइक वी विल कीप शिफ्टिंग, बट वी 3 आर एकदम अच्छा कंफर्ट ग्रुप कि हम साथ ही करेंगे, मतलब पूछने की जरूरत नहीं है, हम साथ ही करेंगे वैसा वाला। तो फिर अल्टीमेटली आई थिंक यू गाइस विल फिगर इट आउट।
Great. Anything to add, Abhay? Can we move on?
I think most of it is already covered by all of you. I think one point that was coming to my mind was the fact that the importance of team, definitely, but I think there's also an importance of extended team. And I think it's a concept that I would want to explain here, is the fact that, like, from my personal experience when I was participating in National Namo. So Hemant was there, who also participated in the preliminary round. He also prepared the presentation. There was Shashwat, who was really good with research. So I think like once we got qualified for the final round, the national finale, I think both me and Kratika were part of this team. I mean, both of us looked up to Hemant, looked up to Shashwat for different helps. And the best part about I think the fraternity that we have here at our college, I think every time we have asked for any help from any of our batchmates, specifically who are into the case competitions, I think they will, help you out a lot. So
Uh, we, so we have understood the concept of extended team. Summing it up, और भी लोगों को खोजो जो आपकी तरह बनना चाहते हैं या आप उनकी तरह बनना चाहते हो, उनसे हेल्प मांगो, even though it is a competitive spirit, but if you find your tribe, I'm sure you will be able to sustain it well. And जैसे मोदी जी कहते हैं, सबका साथ सबका विकास, वही करना जरूरी है। So now we will go to the research part. That is actually the most crucial part, because Khushi said कि she can design everything, but उसको वो content चाहिए, वो content ला के देता है research वाला बंदा। So I'll say we'll first take the research part, and then we'll take the problem part, like problem solving, the solution part, because the research is something and solution is something. So uh, I'll just give a brief from my Amazon wala. It was pharmacy related. I'm sure most of you don't know कि Amazon pharmacy भी है, and we had this challenge कि why people don't know it, what we can do to make it better known. And then the first thing that we did was we first saw what are the principles of Amazon. अब Amazon किस principles पे अपना business conduct करता है, and we saw one thing is frugality. They concentrate a lot on frugality, and we understood कि अगर हम लोग कोई solution बनाना है, it has to be frugal so that it catches their eye. ठीक है, जैसे अभय ने या शाश्वत ने कहा था कि उनके वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स को जाके पढ़ो जो उनका एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग का होता है, वहाँ पे एक तो मैनेजमेंट वाला एक तो होता है जिसमें वो बताता है कि वो आगे करना क्या चाहते हैं, कुछ डिसीजन वाला करके. सो if you read through this, you'll know what the company is betting on, what are the technologies they are betting on, why is it necessary. Industry analysis आपको उससे मिल जाता है, कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं, just download the AGM and you'll get everything, industry analysis and all. तो वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. सेकंड इज व्हाट हैपेंड इन आवर केस, मेरे को एक आइडिया आया, हमने रिसर्च किया एंड देन वी फ्लोटेड अ फॉर्म एंड वी टेस्टेड द आइडिया, दैट इज हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग. सो मेरे को लगा कि ये आइडिया चलो सही है, बट ये मेरे को लग रहा है, मेरे टीममेट्स को लग रहा है, वी हैव अ बायस, हम लोगों को क्रैक करना है. इज एवरीवन एल्स फीलिंग लाइक दिस? नाउ वन थिंग दैट यू मेक अ लॉट इन बी स्कूल्स apart from gassing around is Google Forms, and you'll be circulating it everywhere and you'll be getting no response. So there were two things that we did. First, we offered कि जो भी ये भरेगा उसको we will gift a gift voucher, random 20 लोगों को. We took their emails, like they had a option if they want to opt in this scheme, and randomly 20 लोग को select किया जाएगा जिनको gift voucher दिया जाएगा. Second, we literally went to the table in the mess, हर person के टेबल पे उनको बोला देख 2 मिनट का फॉर्म है, प्लीज भर दे, अगर आप किसी के सामने भीख मांगोगे वो भर देगा. तो now we tested the hypothesis, it was good, we sustained it and then we put it, and वो idea हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा था, so we took it forward. That was one way to go about it. What problem happened in the final round is हम लोग को फिर एक extended presentation, they changed the problem statement a bit and they made it bigger. तो तब again हमारे पास ज़्यादा time नहीं था, and then it was on a business level, and तब we cannot do this consumer local analysis, तब वो कोई काम का नहीं है. Then we had to do business level analysis. So when we were not able to make it to top 3, मैंने personally जाके पूछा उनसे कि where did we lose it out. उन्होंने मुझे एक चीज कहा जो मैं हमेशा याद रखने वाला हूँ, and I'm sure everyone will agree, कि हेमंत, your solution looks good, very good on paper, but on ground it is not implementable. That you have to maintain a balance. आप जो भी solution दे रहे हो, it should be very much implementable on ground. One short example that I'll carry to this is, मैंने शाश्वत के साथ ही IDFC फेम किया था, which was a highway वाला
I
challenge
was
था, so we
going to
gave
ask
really
about,
good
that's why
feedback.
I unmuted. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
हाँ
Please continue.
हाँ, तो उसमें हमारी टीम क्वालिफाई नहीं की थी. We thought we gave really good solutions. तो जिसकी क्वालिफाई की, मैंने उससे पूछा भाई तूने क्या किया, उसने मुझे पीपीटी दिखाई. उसमें उसने लिखा था कि अगर गाड़ी 120 के ऊपर जाएगी तो गाड़ी में चलता हुआ रेडियो अपने आप बंद हो जाएगा ताकि कोई डिस्ट्रैक्शन ना हो. एंड आई वाज लाइक, दिस इज सच अ सिंपल थिंग बट सो प्रोफाउंड. हम लोग कहाँ क्या क्या कर रहे थे, रोड में बत्ती लगाएंगे, ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, वो इतना सिंपल सा चीज को नोटिस करके, विच इज वेरी इम्प्लीमेंटेबल, विच इज कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव. तो वो चीज देखो, आई थिंक दैट वाज वन थिंग दैट ब्लू माय माइंड. आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ शाश्वत वाज अबाउट टू से द सेम एग्जांपल, बट इट वाज लाइक टोटली अ ब्रेन फीड मोमेंट. अरे भाई मैं कहाँ कहाँ जा रहा था, मतलब बगल में छोरा गांव में ढिंडोरा. Anything else like research paper, this was from my limited perspective, but yeah, I'll let it out now because you all are the stalwarts and I'll listen to it very carefully.
Can I go ahead, guys? This one. So yeah, what Hemant was talking about, forms and all, that is thoda sa theoretical aspect. This is primary research. So if from a consumer point of view, if you have a new product or a go-to-market strategy, or you want to know what the consumer wants, what are the needs, you float a form, you talk to them, you conduct interviews of consumers. That is primary research. What I think is more impactful in business level cases, or corporate case competitions, is something that is secondary research. So that involves reading research articles about the problem statement, talking to industry experts, industry insiders. Here यहाँ पे एक और चीज जो हम पहले बात किए थे कि having an extended group that can also include seniors, EPGP students, PhD students, or professors who might have exposure to that industry. being done that myself, being tapping into your extended network, your family network, if someone is there working in that sector, by talking to them directly or by interacting them or in whatever way, by exactly conversing with them. This is a hack in a way. You are skipping multiple steps, is you are bypassing multiple hours of hard work that you would have to have put, like अगर आपको करना पड़ता पढ़ना पड़ता होता सारा, आप डायरेक्टली बात करके क्रक्स पा जा रहे हो. That is a hack that I think I have learned. So I usually do secondary research before primary research. It works, sometimes does not work. IDF's example बहुत सही था. So I think ये वाले example में, like अगर आप एक bias के साथ एक idea के साथ जाते हो, one more thing Hemant I wanted to ask, in that Amazon example, was that idea something that they might have already thought about and they implemented it on some pilot still and it did not work? I'm just guessing it.
No,
Was it like that? No.
no, it was new.
Acha.
And it was again very simple. I'll tell you the idea. I just told them two things. One, कि Amazon का जो सामने बैनर है उसमें फार्मेसी का बैनर को सामने लेके आओ. Second, if there is something that is related to pharmacy, let's say protein, ठीक है. So when a person goes and search in the search bar, Amazon bar protein, so it will show Amazon, like Amazon Fresh दिखाता ना, when you search for groceries, it shows Amazon Fresh. You go to this, you write protein and it will show Amazon Pharmacy. So a lot of people will first time know that at least Amazon Pharmacy exists. And that too in app है, कुछ झमेला नहीं है. It's very simple, it's very doable. Free marketing.
Yeah, it's you exactly don't know what answer will or what solution will stick. There is always a guess game, but your case can be better if you have done the proper back end work. So something similar happened to me in Racket. One of the groups that was also in the finals, and we were close. There was a friend of mine in that group. They went ahead very aggressively with an idea that they did not know that Racket had already tried. So what they were expecting was will have a positive response from the judges, was met with a very ugly bloodbath. They went into the numbers and what user estimate and whatever, that was a mess. So but we took something that was very straightforward and जो सीधा साधा बच्चा वाला solution, and luckily that was something that they were expecting. So you never know. But and yeah, again, we also thought about that idea that was not received well. But what we had an advantage was with we talked to a particular senior who did internship in Ricket, and luckily on the same project. So uh, that was a hack. So yes, again, your guess can be much better if you talk to industry insiders, talk to someone who has worked in that sector or in the same company, and that helps. So there is primary research, secondary research, and then there is this shortcut research that really works
Like
sometimes.
Shashwat's hack. I think ये एक बहुत बढ़िया तरीका है. We'll just tell each other's hack. So Shashwat's hack is to talk to industry experts. What is Abhay's hack?
I think one thing that is also very important is to utilize the resources that are being provided to you by your college. So in most of the B schools, we are provided with e-resources such as, Euromonitor, be it WARC for marketing and advertising purposes, or even Statista, for example. So I think one thing that I realized it pretty late during my first year was the fact that, we have actually good resources to look up to. And from there, we can gather certain data, which can be really helpful in case competitions. And I think one thing that is really important when it comes to any competition, be it case competition or any other, is how you stand out differently from the others. Because research is something that everybody would do. Everybody would, do primary research, secondary research, talk to consumers, float surveys around. But there are certain things that, would stand you out from the others. One of them is definitely, usage of certain resources, which not everybody might be, having access to, or probably might not even have an idea about. So that is one thing that definitely helps you stand out. And one thing that I would like to add here is the fact that, research is I'm pretty sure Shashwat and Khushi would agree to this, is that research is a very extensive field. The case that would be given to you, you can, maybe put months into it and still your research might not get over. So it's also very important to understand that how much research and what research exactly is important. Because it might be times that you might just get lost in the research so much that you forget other things that are also important as a part of that case form. So, a limit to a research and, researching only on the factors that would actually solve the problem that is at hand. So I think that is also one important aspect. And specifically after you are done through the research, so my way I'll share personally, what I do is I create a Google document right from the very start. I keep on jotting down points, whatever I come across, whether it's from ChatGPT, whether it's from random Google searches, websites, and sources. I just keep on noting it down. Like it's an exhaustive list of everything. And when I start making the presentation, then I'll pick up certain points from there and add it to the PPT. So I think it's also very important to understand that, after doing every research that you have done, what points you have to actually take it and, process it through. Because from my experience, especially with Nation with Namo, I can say that it was one of the cases that I think it was like a 55 long page case. First of all, it's one of the most extensive cases that I've ever been through. And it like took us days just to understand what was there in the case because of the length of the case, because of the, kind of terminologies that was used in the case. And then after that case book that we got, I think it took us, even more days just to go through the research part of it. But towards the end, when we had to make a final presentation for the grand, the national finals, I think one thing I personally realized was the fact that, all of this research, like the kind of research that we have done, 25 to 30% is the one that is actually, useful to you. And that is very important, which you realize it after you have gained experience in participating in a number of case competitions. So I think research and smart research is one thing that would differentiate you from others. And utilizing that research into your case competition will help you build your case and probably, get you an award as well. So yeah, that is how I think research, is important.
Pareto's rule apply here as well. 20% of the research gives you 80% of the results.
Yeah.
But Abhay has very clearly skipped what are the resources that not a lot of people might have idea about. Now that I have got it, so I'll ask him.
I think you'll have to, book a special one-on-one personal call for that even.
Okay, I think free में
Okay,
इतना ही
I
मिलेगा.
think, हाँ, I think I can add one point कि secondary research में you can go through, going by the names itself, you can go through EY or let's say Deloitte or BCG's reports. Those are too extensive. They will go through the problem, the solution, and the implementation. So you will get a clear throughout idea. I think for some of the problems, they are very easily available, or for some topics, you can get those on some near topics, I can say. So I think those reports have been my survival, as I can say some of my shortcuts too, that those parts give me most of the research that I need. And 20 wala part is very much accurate. The smart research is very much needed. But to get through that smart research, तुम्हें पहले कुछ शुरू करना पड़ेगा. So to figure out कि 20% ही useful था, you will need at least ये इतना content कि तुम्हें पता चले कि बाकी का तो काम का ही नहीं है. So मतलब वो पार्ट की तुम बहुत ही कम रिसर्च से शुरू कर दोगे तो यू विल एंड अप इन अ प्रॉब्लम बहुत जल्दी से. मतलब तुम पीपीटी बनाते बनाते आधा हो जाएगा, फिर तुम्हें अगर कुछ रियलाइज हुआ कि ओ शिट दिस वाज ऑलरेडी इन द कंपनी, दिस वाज ऑलरेडी इन द प्लेस, यू विल बी इन अ बिग ट्रबल. So yeah, the right amount of research is very much required. And also I've aced some of the case competitions through the expertise of industry experts and even my faculty. We have a very good faculty, all of the B schools, so you can talk to them. There will be few faculties, सब तो इंटरेस्ट नहीं लेना चाहेंगे, पर एक दो तो होंगे ही जो बहुत ही ज्यादा एंथुसियास्ट होंगे. तो तुम उनके पास जाओ,
एकदम.
उनसे बात करो, और वो लोग कुछ तो ऐसा बताएंगे ही कि तुम्हें लगे हाँ यार ये एंगल तो मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था, मतलब एक पर्सपेक्टिव मिल जाएगा. तो व्हाई नॉट.
हाँ, I'll add on to that. मेरे को Amazon ने इसमें हमारे business communication के जो प्रोफेसर है, he worked in Eli Lilly and we had a pharmacy based competition. So he gave us a full 1.5 hour session on me and my teammates on what was his experience, what do the pharmacy company focus on, what are the KPIs that they generally dwell on this and that. And it was actually helpful. In all of my case comps, I've been reaching out to professors. All my professors who have taught my section know me for this, particularly कि ये बंदा case comps करता है. So tap into that. You're not going to get that uh, anywhere else. ये भी एक smart research का ही part है. Because they are doing research day in and day out. Why not leverage it? है ना? I think research part is complete. First round is complete. Team part is complete. One very important thing that I would like to point out, which gets to the third and final segment, is how you make your presentation first. And secondly, for the D day, that is the final day, what are the things you should keep in mind? The controllable factors. Saswat is laughing because I know his Stratos story. So the controllable factors that you should keep in check to make sure that there's no hiccup, there's no mess up at the end, and when it matters a lot, you deliver it right. So um, I think we'll just jump on to one another call. 10 minutes 20 minutes से ज्यादा नहीं. प्रेजेंटेशन का कौन बोलेगा? वैसे प्रेजेंटेशन तो खुशी बोलेगी, वो बोल रही है, वो डिजाइन करती है. आई एम वर्स्ट एट डिजाइन.
I can also add
Abhay
some
is very good at it.
Yeah.
Abhay is very good at it. I know that. I'm not sure
So
about
I
Shashu.
just wanted to know कि do you use PPT or Canva?
I to use Canva.
I
Okay,
used
only
Canva, but I think PowerPoint is better. अरे उसका
PowerPoint is
canvas
much
बड़ा है.
better. PowerPoint better होगा, but जब तुम्हें quickly काम करना हो और
हाँ.
beginners के लिए तुम्हें जल्दी items वगैरह चाहिए तो Canva go to है.
I mean, Canva का वो canvas थोड़ा छोटा होता है. I'm not sure, but if you like, I switched from canvas to PowerPoint.
वो स्विच के टाइम तुम्हें लगेगा, फिर तुम्हें PowerPoint का कैनवास बड़ा लगने लगेगा जब तुम बहुत कैनवा यूज कर लोगे.
So I think there's this thing. So like ये on record है, off record.
नहीं, मैं काट
On
दूंगा.
recording.
मैं ऑफ
काट दूंगा
बात
उसको.
करना चाहती हूँ.
नहीं,
Editing तो
the-
मेरे ऊपर.
I think one important thing that is there is ki, with Canva, so there are already set templates out there, PowerPoint pe, and you can get them downloaded, and then you can use that template. You can upload that template on Canva, and it will actually work like that. That if the way you are using it on PowerPoint, you will actually use the same template through Canva, but with Canva you definitely get like 100 additional features. Like I'm a big fan of Canva, so I think
हाँ, मैं भी हूँ.
all my
Pro
I'm
Pro
struggling
मिल
with
जाए तो मैं
PPT
भी
at my workplace. I'm struggling with PPT at my workplace. Trust me.
हूँ.
हम बैठ के
मैंने दोनों
टेम्पलेट
के
बना
साथ
रहे हैं.
कंफर्ट कर लिया.
Canva
But ठीक है.
is ना user.
So I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Click like, subscribe, share, do anything. बीच में मैंने ये डाला है, एंड में भी मैं यही बोलूँगा. आई रियली वॉन्ट यू ऑल टू आई फॉलोअर तो मेरे को देखो, सब्सक्राइबर तो चाहिए, मेरा अपना भी कुछ स्वार्थ है, बट आई रियली वॉन्ट यू ऑल टू गेट द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. Join my Telegram group, get in touch, have conversations, have fun. I'm really open to talking to you all, and I'm sure it will be a really, really, really fun journey. It's 2:10 a.m. right now. I have my internship, I have my work, but I had to do this. I don't know why I wanted to do this so much. So I really hope you get very good value out of it. You never know. But ठीक है. So we have talked about, like, we have covered two segments. Third segment, one of the most important, how to make your presentations and how to present it. So I'll start with it. Amazon में तो पूरा मेमो लिखना था, so I won't take Amazon for example. But what happens in most case forms, when you go to the next round, first you will have to make a 3 to 4 page presentation. And there they're not looking in very in-depth, like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've not been in corporate case from SALA, but they're not looking for very in-depth research. They're looking for initial ideas, they're looking for initial hypothesis and your understanding of the industry and the problem that they have given to you, what you are making sense out of this and how you are presenting it. Once you are in the final round, then it gets very in depth, where you will have to explain your solution pura ekdam properly. How will you implement it? What could be the probable cost? How will you market it? How on ground consumers will be affected by it? How will you reach out to them? A to Z, everything. Initially, जो मैंने कहा, it's just kind of idea, then in depth. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I think what Hemant said was perfectly right, because at the start it's important for at every stage the company is also trying to filter the participants, and initially they just want to understand that if you got the gist of what the problem requires, and giving a preliminary solution becomes very important for somebody to analyze that yes, you are on the right path, and probably you can extend the solution in depth as Hemant mentioned. So yeah.
So I'll show you a PPT for final वाला था. Not sure how much it will help. But we can take fragments from it and we all can tell कि हाँ ठीक है, अगर ये first round, second round होता 3 pager, तो आप क्या क्या रखते हैं. ठीक है. I hope it is visible. right? So this was हमने don't be first of all overwhelmed by the slides. You will feel कि अरे भाई इतना कुछ करना होगा. शुरू में ऐसा लगता है, मेरे को भी लगा था, but धीरे धीरे you will establish some level of comfort. Also, this is PowerPoint, not Canva. So हमने यहाँ पे काफी in depth बताया, but I think this slide could have been in the second round one, right? What do you think? हाँ ना, कोई आवाज नहीं आ रहा.
Yeah, this looks like थोड़ा extensive.
Full screen कर
First
सकते हो थोड़ा?
rounds तो you can sum up in I think 3 वैसा कुछ. I think the company gives you limit to usually 3 और 4 maximum में तो हो ही जाएगा तुम्हारा cover.
फुल स्क्रीन कर दिया. ठीक है. अब नेक्स्ट अगर मैं जाऊं तो sorry. So then we identified what the problem was exactly, a bit of our primary research and then secondary research. We clubbed it, कुछ थोड़ा एनालिसिस किया, कुछ लोगों से बात की, उसको हमने चार्ट में प्रेजेंट किया कि हाँ हमें क्या सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम समझ आई. ठीक है. फिर एक सोल्यूशन की तरफ जब जा रहे हैं तो why that solution we are presenting, what are the factors that we see that will grow the industry, what are the major influences. Now again, this is one thing that I'll say, after getting into internship I have got a lot of clarity on how to do research and how to present it well, that I'll talk about. But I'll just give a quick positioning कि हाँ ठीक है, फिर हमने वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन लगाया, किस किस को टारगेट करेंगे, किस तरह से इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होगी, जैसे मैंने बात की सेल्स इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होगी तो व्हाट इज द जर्नी दैट एवरीवन विल गो थ्रू. ठीक है. What is the assumptions that I have taken? You have to clearly state the assumptions because you cannot be perfect. You don't know the insider. What are the assumptions जिसके बेसिस पे आपने ये चार्ट मैंने कैलकुलेट किया, ये सब मैंने दिखाया and इसके बाद खत्म कर दिया. So the problem in this case form was that the person who did the case form was expecting something else, and that was one of the learning that I got. I took a lot of time to make this, and that person was expecting us to go to hospitals and pitch their product, literally sell their product. But we just gave how to do it, how we think from research that it would be done. So again, as Khushi mentioned it, ऐसा नहीं हो कि presentation बनाओ उसके बाद पता चले ओ ये तो चाहिए ही नहीं था. You should know what exactly they want, and that is why a lot of case competitions have their webinars, their seminars where they come on and explain the problem, where you can ask questions. If you're really serious about any one of them, जिसको target कर रहे हो, do attend that and make sure that you are clear as to what they want so that you deliver that only. I hope I'm right on this part. ठीक है. Now
Yeah.
please you all move forward, like PPT में क्या होना चाहिए क्या नहीं. I'm sure this is not the best PPT you have seen, like nowhere near the best.
So I can go ahead. So I'll keep it short. I think from my experience, PPTs are something that are very subjective. So specifically for Nation with Namo, when we went for the national finals, we realized that all the 12 teams, like we were thinking that more or less the content or the style of the presentation might be similar. But we realized that almost everybody has a very different thought process and way of approaching a case form, and the presentations can be very subjective. Although there are a few certain things that you keep it as a base and a fundamental while participating in any case competition. Most of the presentations would start with probably an executive summary, which would comprise of major things that you have covered in the presentation. Then there would come a slide that would talk about the research work, the consumer insights that you have got, specifically from a marketing and consulting case competition point of view, the consumer insights, the TAM, the SAM, SOM that you will be including in all of it. I think that is more or less the details that you would want to cover in the initial slides. Then you would jump to the pain points of the problem that has been given to you, and you would try to analyze those pain points, provide certain solutions to them, and further on you will go in depth into each of those solutions that you would want to present. So I think from a format basis, I think this is one of the formats that is being followed. But again, like speaking from a very open-minded here is the fact that different case competitions require very different types of formats. So for Nation with Namo Nation Building, I think it was more of a political case competition, and we required more of a research and a solution aspect rather than providing suggestions or any kind of insights that didn't relate to the problem itself. So I think more focus was towards the research part of the same. While in marketing case competitions, they might expect to even work upon UI UX or the product side of it. The four P's that we say, and apart from that, such as certain promotions, advertisements, etc. So I think again, presentations are very subjective, although it's very important, to keep your presentations less text heavy and more from a data centric point of view, because, numbers are something that reflects much, much better in any case comp. And secondly, decluttering and minimalizing, the content that's there on a particular slide is also very important, because you will come across a number of presentations where, people have just overloaded those presentations with a lot of, content. But again, while you're presenting, there's a limited time that's been given to you. Be it 10 minutes, be it 15 minutes. That's the top that you get, and it's important to put forward your point. And at the end of the day, the judges will be judging you on the basis that how as I think Hemant mentioned that the solution should not just be on the paper. It should also be something that can be implemented, can be done on the ground, and just writing anything or doing anything fancy would not get you points, but even a simple thing that can be implemented right away would get you brownie points from the judges. So I think that is there. Apart from that, there are basic hygienes that are being followed while making a presentation, be it the color coding of it, be it the font that you use, probably the font size, which is also very important, and how beautifully you're writing the headers of each slide, because the header is something that gains the attention of the viewer, that what the slide is all about. So probably that the flow of the presentation, how it starts, how it ends, and yeah, I mean, these are certain tips and tricks that you need to keep in mind. Probably you use visual charts, be it bar graphs, be it different types of charts that you can use just to emphasize more upon your points. So I think these are certain hygienes that can be followed while preparing a deck. I think we can talk more about the presentation skills, the oratory, but I think that would be a more extended version of this video. So yeah, sooner we will talk about that as well. But yeah, from a deck end, I think this is something that I can add to here.
Mhm. Khushi, I think you are the design expert we have right now. So
I think
putting
designing का we can
numbers
take
into
a complete
stories,
another video, right? क्या लगता है? मतलब this is my point of view कि
that
designing का.
we'll take later maybe. अभी के लिए अगर we have to tell them, the people who are watching right now. So if we have to tell how to put those numbers, those insight into story that you do really well. So what exactly?
So सबसे पहले what I do is actually before starting PPT or anything, I just have my notebook. I draw the slides and I एकदम अच्छे से like I पहले से you can say कि मैं notebook में ही बना देती हूँ कि this is how my slide will be. इतने इतने part में I'll cover this. Obviously while putting things you realize कि ये होगा, पर mostly जो flow तुम्हारा होगा, like the मतलब flow is very much important. How you'll go, where you'll end up, ये सब I plan well in notebook or any iPad वगैरह जो भी है. Also सबसे पहले तो you need to know कि दो kind of पहले rounds. पहला तो एक होगा जो मतलब फर्स्ट एकदम इम्प्रेशन से तुम्हें सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे, और कुछ कंपनीज क्लियर होंगी जो एफर्ट लेंगी, एंड दोस कंपनी. am I stuck or am I audible? I don't know.
Yeah, you asked. मैम on my screen. हाँ ठीक है.
Okay. हाँ, so there will be those.
आ रहा बस.
Okay. So there will be those two kinds or two kind of division we can say कि एक कुछ कंपनीज होगी जो रियली थोड़े टेक्निकल साइड पे ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड होंगी, तो वो तुम्हारा टेक्स्ट पढ़ने की मेहनत करेंगी, और कुछ तो होंगी ही जो तुम्हें डिजाइन से सिलेक्ट करेंगी. सो ऐसे नहीं तो ऐसे, एंड नाउ यू डोंट नो कि which company is really interested into your technical side and which company is sort of on design and presentation side also. So ऐसे नहीं तो ऐसे, if you have a good content you really need to present it well. और अगर तुम्हारे पास कंटेंट अच्छा भी नहीं है और तुम्हें ऐसा है कि अभी पहले राउंड से निकल जाए क्योंकि अभी हमें टाइम नहीं मिला है, कि पहले राउंड से निकल जाए, फिर वी कैन पुट इन टाइम और हमारे पास है आइडिया कि हम इसे आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. तो डिजाइन इज वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट कि तुम कैसे जाओगे और तुम कैसे चीजों को रख रहे हो. सो आई थिंक दैट इज वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट कि तुम ये पहले ही फिगर आउट कर लो, क्लियरली पहले से डिवाइड कर लो कि तुम क्या क्या रखने वाले हो, क्या क्या रख सकते हो, क्योंकि तुम्हें रिसर्च मिल गई है ऑलमोस्ट. बस उस हिसाब से व्हाट आई डू इज इंडस्ट्री, कॉम्पिटिटर एनालिसिस। मेरा प्राइमरी रिसर्च बहुत कम रहता है, मतलब मैंने गूगल फॉर्म बहुत ही कम फ्लोट किया है। आई यूज यूजर पर्सोनाज वेल, मतलब यूजर पर्सोनाज आर सो इम्पोर्टेंट। यूजर पर्सोनाज बना के रख के आई ऑल्सो पुट यूजर पर्सोनाज इन वीडियोज, like people saying their problems in videos, so those helps a lot. And those user personas I do not create false कि आसपास वालों से बनवा लिए। If there is something for let's say कि if there is something that I need to do with some of the artists, let's say I'll really go over to those people and try to create a video of the, I think, the raw content they have. So this is what I put. So user personas is important. Next I go is, I already said competitor industry analysis. I'll put company analysis. A clear problem statement is very much important. A problem statement and highlight that what part are you trying to focus on, what will are you trying to solve. Sometimes the problem statement is vast and you don't always focus on all the parts, so something that you'll solve and give them, so you need to focus on that ऐसे करके। देन यू गो इनटू द सॉल्यूशन। सॉल्यूशन से पहले जाने से पहले तुम्हें पूरा एक बैकग्राउंड बनाना पड़ेगा जिससे तुम सॉल्यूशन तक पहुंचो। गिविंग सॉल्यूशन के तुम्हारे जो भी कंपोनेंट्स है, the most important part is how feasible it is. So you need some guesstimates कि ऐसे ऐसे करके इतना इतना impact इसका होगा, either to calculate the audience. Am I audible?
You are audible.
हाँ,
Yes.
so either to calculate कि ये ऑडियंस तक हम पहुंच पाएंगे या कुछ भी, you'll need some guesstimates and numbers, तो उससे तुम्हें एक इम्पैक्ट भी तुम कैलकुलेट कर पाओगे। गेस्टिमेट के बाद यू विल नीड सम एक्सेल्स और सम रियल वर्किंग इफ यू हैव डन सम एस्टिमेट और फाइनेंशियल काइंड ऑफ वर्किंग। एक्सेल लिंक्स अगर तुम अटैच कर रहे हो तो दोज आर ब्राउनीज फॉर यू, और हवा में सॉल्यूशन देने से आई डोंट थिंक दैट विल रियली हेल्प, सो यू विल नीड सम लिंक्स अटैच्ड। and if you are working on some marketing side, so then you'll look into product design. if you are working on ये वाला part की product होगा, या फिर वेबसाइट्स है तो यू हैव टू डिजाइन फिग्मा काइंड ऑफ समथिंग कि तुम एक मॉक बना के एक प्रेजेंटेबल बनाओगे तो उसके भी तुम लिंक्स अटैच करोगे। सो आई थिंक दोज आर द लास्ट स्लाइड थिंग्स की लिंक्स एंड एक्स्ट्रा वर्किंग्स दैट डिजाइनिंग एंड एक्सेल शीट वर्किंग्स दैट यू हैव बीन डूइंग, एंड आई थिंक दोज रियली हेल्प्स। एंड द लास्ट इज अपेंडिक्स कि जितना भी तुम्हारा जो बचा है जो तुम आगे नहीं डाल पाए, put everything in the appendix. Appendix can also be planned, but yeah, put everything जो भी बचा है and you are done. और most case competitions में जहाँ mention नहीं किया है unless की excluding appendix, most में you can attach appendix, they will not disqualify you. Appendix will help a lot, मतलब go on जितना भी है सब डाल दो। Yes,
That's very comprehensive. I think you talked from the final PPT point of view, right? I'm sure ये 3 pager में नहीं होगा।
नहीं 3 पेज में कवर हो जाएगा आई थिंक।
अरे बस तुम 10 पेज में क्या करना है, उसको फिर एक्सपैंड करना है पूरा।
10 से expand कर
तो
दो
मेरे को
अगर वो
समझ नहीं
बचा
आया।
है।
आई थिंक 3 पेजर के लिए डाइजेस्ट ही नहीं हो पा रहा है।
I think one thing that all of you who are watching this video right now, you will have a very big cultural shock, when you start making presentations to the case competitions, because mostly before this, you would have, used an entire slide just to put 1 point forward probably. But here in just one slide, we have to put like 10 points forward. You have to, fit in everything somehow that, once you look at the two-pager or a three-pager presentation, you will feel that, this is something that can only be done in 10 slides or 15 slides. So I think that would be really, new experience for most of you where you're fitting in most of the things, most of your research in a 3 page. So yeah.
I think it would be easier to fit in your 5-year-old clothes than to fit all your data in this PowerPoint slides.
Hemant and his bad joke.
बहुत tough. Just trying
So
to keep
one
it
hack
light.
is when you have a lot of data, ये वो always try to use some visual infographic ले लो, या फिर you use knowledge graphs or anything. Try to put every single point in any form of graphic. So you can learn this by like having a having insight on most of the consulting PPTs. If you search on Google or something consulting PPTs, you'll get the insight. Like in consulting PPTs or even reports that those companies publish, everything is fit well into some kind of smart arts or let's say infographics. Even text is filled in such a manner that सब मतलब ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि it's filled with text and बहुत सारा तुमने एक साथ ही भर दिया, मतलब everything is differently and so uniquely placed in a slide कि वो बहुत सारे कंटेंट होने के बाद भी congested फील नहीं देगी। So that is very much important. You use अच्छे
Great,
से visuals.
great. Now I know the secret sauce. और शाश्वत भाई आप भी बता दीजिए. Let's spill the beans.
So in Cipla only, I teamed up with a very close friend of mine. She had a good amount of experience in case competitions. So I think she'll hate me if I expose her secret.
She
So what she did
she
is,
पे focus कर रहा है, she पे.
ठीक है भाई. We are from K. We did it way before Rohtak got on it, so it's okay. What I'm saying
Let's
is,
not go there.
yeah. Uh, so what I'm saying is, see, basically there was no particular template. Some case competitions provide template for you to work with.
Mhm.
There was no, I don't think there was in Cipla. So
नहीं.
she took the Cipla's logo or whatever the basic design they had in the case pamphlet, and there are a lot of AI tools. So she cooked up a palette. Then, as Khushi also mentioned, on pen and paper, there was a whole structure. What will be the flow? And then one by one, with that color palette and with the basic idea, we started filling it. And you have to understand that to mention that the basic research was done. We had an idea of what we want to present, what idea we were going ahead with. After that, this design became a exercise of just creative choices, and that helped a lot. And I think that is a very good lesson that I have learned and implemented throughout all my presentations. So yeah, all those like visualization and all those things work. But starting से यहाँ से बहुत time बच जाता है when you have an idea of कौन सा slide में क्या रहने वाला है. वो
I
while
am
you're
sure
doing it,
then
if you figure
Abhay
it
का,
out, then go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sure then Abhay का slide, नमो वाला slide पूरा saffron रहा होगा.
No political jokes, bro.
Also, one more point for the video itself कि जो भी तुमने solution थोड़ा बहुत guess up करके या जैसे भी बना दिया है उसके अकॉर्डिंग अपनी प्राइमरी रिसर्च डालो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल if I have decided that I will go on ये idea like I want to come with some diagnosis AI in let's say cancer, breast cancer, then मेरा पूरा प्राइमरी जो मैं रिसर्च या फिर सेकेंडरी रिसर्च में जो डाल रही हूँ फर्स्ट स्लाइड पे, मेरा वो रिसर्च प्रूव करना चाहिए कि जो मेरा सॉल्यूशन है वो कितना इंपॉर्टेंट था. And that was like the all go सारा trends and everything proves कि that is very much important. So frame your first slide accordingly. So it will ultimately help the audience कि वो वहाँ audience वहाँ तक पहुँच जाए कि yeah, this was important.
I think this has become totally heavy, and for first timers उनकी काफी करके थोड़ी बहुत हो चुकी होगी कि either I am doing this or I'm not doing this at all. So in the last 10 minutes, let's discuss the fun part of when you go into a case form. The aftermaths, like I discussed about Amazon, and you are only allowed to discuss about one. ठीक है? I have one, so I'll discuss about one. मैं अपनी जिंदगी में पहली बार फ्लाइट में Amazon की वजह से चढ़ा. So I had never boarded a flight. Amazon called us at the Bangalore office. हमारा आने जाने का फ्लाइट था. जब हम लोग बैंगलोर एयरपोर्ट उतरे, so they sent a 7-seater car जिसमें हम लोग बैठ के गए. They made us stay at Marriott for 3 days. खाना पीना, goodies, everything. So sad कि मेरा कॉलेज में ही किसी ने मेरा Amazon का बॉटल और Amazon का डायरी मार लिया, जो मैं जिंदगी भर नहीं भूलूंगा. But the 3 days at Marriott, then we went to the office. The office was good. We met so many people. खाना पीना हुआ, मजा हुआ. They had some fun part. फिर हम लोग रात को वापस आए. We were very tired, तो हम लोग सो गए थे. But other people, कुछ colleges के लोग जाके पार्टी किए. So and then again when we went back, तो रात को 2 बजे हमारा फ्लाइट था. They only sent a car, 7-seater उसमें गया. फिर वहां से फ्लाइट में हम लोग आए. So it's totally an experience that I would never forget. ऐसा लग रहा था I was at the top of the world. I'm like the most important person for Amazon at that time. They were treating us so well. So let's share one अपना case forms का where you felt like okay, I think I am the most important person for this company right now, and what they did for you. Anyone?
I can start. I think for me personally, the biggest incentive of participating in a case com and making it through was So from my personal experience of Godrej, I would say here is that as soon as Godrej came and, when the unstop thing that you go through it. So in that it was written, if you make it through the campus and, if you are the campus finalists, you get to come to Mumbai and all the arrangements, accommodation, be it flight, will be taken care of by the company itself. I think for me, from my very personal experience, so this was the first time I went to Mumbai. And I was trying to go to Mumbai since the last 2 years. In fact, there were a couple of instances when I got my flight tickets done, but due to something, I couldn't make it to Mumbai and I had to cancel it at the last moment. And as soon as Godrej came to the campus, I was like, okay, my biggest, motivation behind giving my best was that I want to go to Mumbai. And that too, when you're getting to go to, Mumbai, I wouldn't say free of cost,
Station.
but yeah, being the, the perks of the company and at the expense of the company, I think it's one of the best experiences that, one has. And for us personally, I think the way Godrej welcomed us to the campus, the best part about, going. So I'll tell you, in the first term specifically, I think it's a very hectic term. And when mostly most of your peers and everybody around you are stressed, they are, preparing for the placements and everything. And during that time, when you actually get to go outstation, be it even for 2 days, that's like a blessing in disguise. I mean, that's a beautiful feeling that can't be compared to anything else. So yeah, I think it started that way. And then you get to visit so many people at the company headquarters. You get to like meet the CEOs, the CMOs. I think that is one of the biggest learnings that you ever get. Secondly, before internship starts, you get a good feeling about how the corporate works. Even if you are 2 days there, you get to know the nicks and knacks of how the corporate campus is, how many people are there, the employees, whatever the environment, the atmosphere is there. So yeah, that is something that you definitely vibe for and look up to. And yes, I think these are some of the biggest incentives, as Hemant also mentioned. I mean, you get to get the goodies of these companies. That's a subtle flex that you have, you know, uh, at the campus. When you carry it to the classrooms and stuff. I think that is one thing. And one advantage apart from all of this is, I think, when you are into case competitions, I think you get that recognition in your batch. And not even from a materialistic point of view, but from something that is also very important when you come to an MBA college is probably networking. And one of the things that people might remember you post you are done with your MBA is the fact that you were somebody who was into a lot of case competitions. Because for somebody who is into case competitions, they will automatically get that recognition from their batch. Because I think all of us here, have somehow cracked into some of the top national finals of the case competitions, and all of us know that once you are in that level, most of the batch gets to know that yes, okay, you made it to some of the top national finals of a particular case competition. And apart from that, the best part is that post this happens, everybody wants to you know um, I mean, collaborate further to participate in case competitions further. Your opportunities also start increasing once you are participating in case competitions. And one thing that I've always believed is in the fact is participating is much more important than winning. Because so this is a myth that's there with case competitions in these schools. From I think there must be around 30 to 40 major case competitions that happens. Probably in the first and the second term cumulatively. It's I think hardly you would end up winning two or three. I mean, that's the ratio that's out there. People usually think, and that's also like a very big thing. If you win two or three case competitions at max, people think that they might make it up to all the case competitions, or they might win more than 50% of it. That's a myth. Because one case competition, when you are very serious about it, and there would be overlaps also when it comes to case competitions. There might be two, three case competitions at the same time. But if you have made it to, let's say second round or the third round of a particular case competition, you have hardly any other time to, devote to any other case competitions. Like you will put in your 100% in the best efforts to that one. So I think that's also very important when it comes to case competitions, choosing the right case competition and then, probably devoting and giving your best to a particular one is very important. Because if you just give, your 20% to each of it, you might not be able to make it out of any of them. So yeah, I think these are certain things that I would like to close my statements with. Because yes, case competition is something that you should definitely try when you are in a B school. Because the kind of learning experience, the kind of competitiveness that you get to before joining in a corporate world, the kind of competitiveness that you get to experience at this level is something amazing. And plus, one thing that I really forget was the fact that when you travel to other cities, you also get to meet people from other B schools. I mean, that kind of an opportunity is something which is you know which you won't get anywhere. So when I went for Godrej and even for Nation with Namo, I got to interact with like almost students from almost 12 to 15 other B schools, and I'm still in touch with many of them. So I think that opens a lot of opportunities for you. And there are certain case competitions where you're also allowed to make inter college teams. So maybe there are certain if you are in touch with these people, you might also get an opportunity to make cross teams as well. So I think these are certain perks apart from all the cash prizes, apart from all the these things. I think this is something that is an add-on to it.
Thanks for the closing statement and taking my role. Shashwat and Khushi, थोड़ा सा short रखेंगे since we don't have a lot of time. Tell your experience. ठीक है, अभय ने पूरा close कर दिया matter. Experience बताना कैसा लगा when you went to ABG or when you went to Cipla.
अच्छा, मैं एकदम शॉर्ट में खत्म करती हूँ. So, matlab near around Godrej at the same time, Cipla was there too, and we got a chance to go to Mumbai. Trust me, like out of the hell, out of all the rigor, you are having a chance to go to Mumbai, and after that too, you are getting a super luxury room in ITC or something, and you are enjoying like anything. But yeah, like due to the rigor, we had to submit a PPT of somewhat 9 or 10 slides, and just before the night of leaving for Mumbai, I was having my process with another company, like both of us. So we didn't prepare the PPT at all, and we went Mumbai empty. Like our all the slides were empty. Just we were just one slide filled. And now we have one day with us, and we had to meet those 9 slides. And trust me, in Grand Central, we were doing this all the way around at the breakfast hall or anywhere. We were just filling our slides throughout the day. And yes, that was the most horrible experience. And now you're expecting nothing out of the case competition because you have prior at the prior day you have done all this. Now you have no feedback from any of your seniors, nothing. You have just made the PPT in hurry like anything, and you do not expect anything. And yeah, at the end, it ended up being second runners up of somewhere. It ended up nicely. So I think it was a very good experience. Trust me, you'll enjoy. So पहले trimester में तो rigor होगा, but don't miss these competitions.
I think that is one great people do. Show up at the last time and steal the show. Finally, Shashwat, the OG.
No, bro, I have a lot to learn
बस ये
from
बताना
that
ABG का उसमें
experience.
लगा कैसा?
It was a great experience. It was a great experience. There was all those factors that Abhay said, interacting with people. I got to know that it is a norm that once any team from ISB makes it to the national finals, it is a custom that everyone will contribute, and what we want to create at K, as we were talking about, or what is there in IFT, ISB has it as a norm. So that's a very good thing to know. I also, in a way, owe my current internship to the interactions with the industry leaders that I interacted with at ABG. And apart from that, also, yeah, you get to enjoy a lot. But again, you have that thing, okay, attendance jayegi, ab 80% se 79.4 ho gaya, I have to make up for it. That depends on you. It's a very good, way out of your hectic MBA life. But again, yeah, I would, if you're making it's for that 10% of the audience who will make it to one of those national finalists within next 3 to 4 months. Have everything prepared. If you have seen MS Dhoni, be the Yuvraj Singh, who is well prepared and very confident before the day of the match, not the Bihar wala MS Dhoni wala team who is seeing Yuvraj Singh and getting afraid. Be like that. Don't be like Khushi. Don't keep the slides to the last moment. I also faced the same issue. That's why I can relate and understand what kind of stress and regret I have afterwards. Okay, I could have enjoyed. I could have stayed till 2 as other team members partied. So don't have that regret. थोड़ा सा time manage कर लो and plan it, and you'll certainly enjoy it. These are experiences that we will remember for not just during your MBA life, but afterwards also. Yeah, please continue.
I'll sad for a minute and close it. कि Amazon में भी हमने कोई finances वाली चीज नहीं डाली थी, and somehow we knew कि वो चीज आएगी. So before the night of the competition, I was given the task कि तुम पूरा finance देखो, क्योंकि मेरी टीम में और कोई भी फॉर्म से नहीं था, and I could not figure it out. I could not sleep. 5 बजे मैं सोया, and while my way to Amazon office, I was sleeping. After all the pictures were done, I was sleeping, and when everyone was taking photos, मतलब जब उन्होंने group photos लिए, so I am missing in all the group photos, and I was thinking कि ये हुआ कब? एंड देन आई रिमेम्बर कि ठीक है मैं सो गया था वहाँ, और मैं ऐसा सोया था कि मेरे को वो लोग उठाना है, फिर भी नहीं उठा था. सो प्लीज डोंट कीप इट फॉर द लास्ट मोमेंट. योर मैं जीता तो नहीं वैसे भी, बट जो एक्स्ट्रा एक एक्सपीरियंस हो सकता था वो भी रुइन हो गया एक तरह से कह सकते हैं. सो अनलेस ऑब्वियसली बहुत ज्यादा कुछ काम आ गया, make sure that if you are given so much time, give a bit more, compromise on your attendance. If like हमारा कॉलेज तो काफी सही है इस मामले में, अटेंडेंस के मामले में. I'm sure some colleges are there which are strict, but हाँ, Abhay has given a closing statement. I wouldn't add anything to it. He has perfectly summed it. I thank all of you to be here and guide. I'm sure that people who will, 1% of the people who will come this till this last minute of the video will know that what they're signing up for, what is there for them, and how we can also help them. I hope if anyone reaches out to you on LinkedIn, you won't curse me. मेरी कोई गलती नहीं है, ठीक है. आपकी पॉपुलैरिटी आपके नाम. मैं कोशिश करूंगा आपको और पॉपुलर बनाने का. बट थैंक यू सो मच गाइस. इट्स
आपसे
1:30
कम ही,
AM.
हेमंत सर आपसे कम ही.
True,
ठीक
true.
है. हाँ ठीक है.
ऑल्सो गाइज, इतना सारा इंफॉर्मेशन लेके ये मत सोचो कि कहाँ से शुरू करें. कुछ भी करो, शुरू करो. कुछ कुछ में तो पूरा लक बेस भी हो जाएगा. एंड में नहीं हो रहा है, लक को ब्लेम करो, आगे बढ़ जाओ और मजे करो और फिर से ट्राई करो, हो जाएगा.
Yes, when you have people like Saswat, Abhay and Khushi in your batch, you can only pray your luck कि कुछ हो जाए, because skill तो सारा उनके पास है. So thank you so much guys. It was fun having conversation. Let's have a photo. अबे फोटो खींच. एक किसके पास अच्छा फोन है, फोटो खींचो भाई.
स्क्रीनशॉट ले लिया, चलेगा?
हाँ ले भाई, डाल देना. ठीक
रुको
है.
रुको, फिर से
इंस्टा पे मैं हो नहीं ढूंढा. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.